Good evening, all you wonderful people out there in YouTube world, and if you're listening afterwards, of course, in podcast world, welcome to the Toon Review, where tonight it is just the three of us. Billy is having some well-earned family time with his son, so I hope he has a great night. We three will be previewing tomorrow's game at the Community Stadium, which is, of course, Brentford versus Newcastle United. The game's coming very thick and fast, of course, at the moment. It just seems 2 minutes since we played Man United. We've already done that. We've obliterated West Ham. Can we do the same tomorrow in London again? I think it'll be a little bit closer than it was against West Ham, personally. I think we have to play certainly better than we did in the first half. Play like we did in the second half, then I think 3 points should be coming our way again. If we can get out of these three games in a week with maximum points, wow. I mean, it's just incredible. Really, really looking forward to that. A few bits of news to go through. I mean, that drunk man in London shouting at the team when they were out for a team walk, shouting at them saying, "You're going to get battered tonight." He must have been a Newcastle fan shouting at West Ham. So, I bet he's feeling slightly stupid. By all accounts, he was very much inebriated anyway. Talk about egg on your face. Incredible. Now, if you do enjoy tonight's show, as usual, guys, please do hit that like button for us. It is massively important that we keep those likes coming in. And, of course, if you're new, become part of the community by hitting the subscribe button, completely free to do so. And, of course, hit the bell, which will let you know when we go live or upload any videos. And, as usual, you can donate to the channel if you wish by hitting that $sign at the bottom of the live comments. And that will take you through to a payment method. And remember also, if you do make super chats, you are guaranteed that your comment will be read out because it comes straight at the top of the screen. So that's another bonus of putting in a super chat. Well, we will have Alex's graphics during the show as well, which everybody seems to look forward to. First of all, some channel news. We got our figures in for the month of March, and there you go. 319 new subscribers, 260,000 views on the channel, and 5 million minutes watched. That is incredible. So thank you again for your absolute wonderful support. It puts we're in the very top bracket of the Newcastle channels with them stats. So thank you very much, guys. Honestly, absolute legends you are out there. The Toon Army, the Toon Review Army bounces on without a shadow of a doubt. Let's have a look at some comments just before we get going. Actually, we've got a new member, Roper Gaming. Welcome to Members Club. Again, not sure if that's a new one or an extension, but thank you very much. We are going to have little logos for our members very shortly, for however long you've been with us. Fez has been doing some graphic work in the background with those, and hopefully we'll get them up very, very soon on the channel. So if you've been with us a certain amount of time, you will have a little Newcastle United retro shirt next to your name. So there you go. Geordie Boy, £20 straight off the belt. Thank you very, very much. He says, I'll start the ball rolling. Here's a fiver. Keep up the brill work. Well, it's 4 fivers, Geordie Boy. Thank you very much. Godfather says, good evening, Black and White Gang. Looking forward to another win. Yes, I think a lot of people are expecting a win tomorrow. Jackie, good evening. Les, good evening. Jan, good evening. Geordie Boy, yep, already in the house. Steve Mallam, good evening. Godfather says, are the mods on a break? I only see one. No, they will be there. Some of them hover like a mosquito ready to pounce. So you've got to be careful. They are snipers. Spike, good evening. Hope everyone's good and have a good Easter weekend with NUFC making it an excellent weekend. Well, you missed out on a good joke there, Spike. You could have put making it an excellent weekend. Easter. But never mind. I just have to keep making the jokes up myself, I guess. David says blowing bubbles was often attributed to Michael. Oh no, I'm not. That's shocking. That's terrible. My God. That's really terrible. Pedro says, good evening, you beautiful people. And Paul, only joking. You're all beautiful. Come on, the boys. Julie J, good evening to you. Wes, good evening. Santo, Johnson Street, Paul Feeney, good evening. Roger, Ian Fleming, loads of you, the usual rabble are in the house tonight. Jack, tomorrow is a big game. I'm expecting be a bit tougher than what Brentford, than what West Ham was. No disrespect to West Ham. Brentford seem to have got things right. The manager's done a wonderful job there, hasn't he?
The start of the season, all right. They made some good signs in the summer. They smashed Man U 4-0, which is a very good result. And then they started to slow off a little bit in September-ish, October-ish when we smashed them 5-1. And then they started to pick it back up again. And they seem to do very good at home as well, and seem to cause a lot of other clubs big problems, whether it be a scrapey 1-0 win, or sometimes they get smashed, sometimes they smash another team, or sometimes they may scrape a win or scrape a loss. They're an unpredictable team. But tomorrow it decides which Newcastle United turns up and which Brentford turns up. If the wrong Brentford turns up and the right Newcastle turn up, we win. Yeah. The other way, vice versa. Brentford may scrape a win, but I feel Newcastle will take something from this game, whether it be a point or 3 points. I don't see us picking up 0 points. I don't see us getting 0, but I do see us picking up some points. But Brentford, they're a good team. I mean, yeah, like you said, Paul, no disrespect to West Ham. They are better than West Ham by the league table and on paper. They are a better side.
It's crazy. 2 years ago, well, 2 years ago, nobody would have put Brentford in this bracket. Nobody would have put them in this situation that they're in now. And I think that they're really, I mean, I see where he's coming from, Alex. Brentford have been this season have been better than West Ham.
Yeah,
West Ham have only got themselves to blame, haven't they? I mean,
I'm going by Jack's words, which were the squads on paper, and I feel like that does West Ham a massive injustice based on they're in a lull period. And they're in Europe and really struggling.
Came out wrong.
Sometimes
he's been watching Alex a lot. We got another £5 super chat from Swanky Wags, which is Julie. Hey guys, have a great evening. Bruno loves scoring against Brentford. Just saying, yeah, as does Joe Linton, Joe Willock.
True.
We've Alex. I wanted to talk to you about this as well, which is away from our game. It's Big Scott's talking about it here. The Man United fans and their reaction to Michael Oliver refereeing their game.
God.
Now, how many times has Michael Oliver refereed Manchester United? And all of a sudden, I mean, we've all known for a long time that Michael Oliver is a Newcastle fan, which is why he doesn't referee our games. And all of a sudden, I mean, Michael Oliver will take no notice of this because he's a professional referee. But obviously, if things go against Manchester United tomorrow, you know what's coming.
Yeah, well, they just blame everything but themselves. They blamed themselves for their loss against us when in fact it was just us being very good. But no, I've literally just had this conversation this evening with a couple of Manchester United fans about Michael Oliver, and they've only just learnt that he's a Newcastle fan. They didn't know that. It's just surfaced, even though we've been... you mention it regularly. You've mentioned it for the last sort of year, on and off, whenever it pops up. Oh, it's a shame we can't have him ref because he's a good ref. They didn't know this. It's just come to light because suddenly we're challenging for a position in and around them. Now it's suddenly an issue. But sporting integrity-wise, it's not been a problem for years. But now that they need a new scapegoat. They need a new one. So, because they had all their scapegoats, a while back. In terms of Ragnick, previous managers, players, dressing room atmosphere, they had a lot of targets to channel their toxicity. I mean, fair, they were performing to the standards that they've set the club. They were underperforming, sorry. But they seem to be a little bit ignorant to Ten Hag's flaws. I think they've got him. I think Ten Hag is a good manager. He's a very good manager. but I think they've sort of labelled him the Messiah a bit too early, and they're failing to see his flaws, and they're trying to, I think most of us are quite well aware that if it weren't for Rashford, they wouldn't be in half the competitions they're in right now.
Yeah.
Nowhere near up the league table, or De Gea and Rashford, essentially. And they're failing to ignore the limitations of their manager and their squad, and they're blaming anything and everything except themselves at the moment. Hence, this is the new scapegoat in Michael Oliver. So it is what it is. It doesn't affect us. Who cares? We'll just try and beat Brentford.
Yeah, they're giving Ten Hag the label a genius. Like he's won a Carabao Cup trophy, and they are a very lucky side. I won't label him genius.
No, he's got a long way to go before he gets that label. It's just you can't put him in the same bracket as the likes of Klopp and Guardiola because he hasn't been here long enough. He's nowhere near.
They're trying to at the moment though, which is
of course, but they're an entitled bunch, of course, and what Man United are entitled to, they should have. But it's pathetic. Ian Fleming, thank you very much for your £5 super chat. He says Brentford a decent side, but still going for a 2-0 win. Wilson and Isak to score. Tom says, Paul, is this the shape of things to come? Europe next season might mean some reviews having to be on Fridays, meaning less TTR Fridays. Tom, we'll cross that bridge when we have to come to it, my friend. Of course, it's a very, very long way to go yet to see where we're going to be, but that will all be worked out, of course, in the summer. But hey, if we're having to do more previews and reviews, then that means we're in a much better place as a club. So it works out better for Newcastle United if that's the case.
What about Champions League nights on a Tuesday night? Ooh.
Tuesday night Champions League. I mean, it's just we just have to just change things around a little bit. Would Be Farmer says this channel is tops because it is authentic. You guys are real. Thank you very, very much. Peter says evening from Sweden. Looking forward to tomorrow. Daniil says a Brentford win would top things off. It certainly put us in a very, very good shape going. I
don't like the wording there,
Park.
Though. Maybe a win over Brentford. I didn't like his wording there. Brentford win. No, we don't want a Brentford win.
I thought he was trying to annoy us then, saying a Brentford win.
Guys, just. Roper, thank you very much. Anne says, hi lads, another win for the Toon 3-1 tomorrow. Keep up the great work, TTR team. Thank you very much. Where's your Champions League background gone, Alex? I thought it was supposed to be there whilst we're in a qualification spot.
Yeah, it is. It's because of the new laptop. I need to swap everything over. That's my fault. Apologies.
It is. I think people would much rather see that than your Elton John piano in the background, Alex. To be fair.
I could do with you sending me them again because the Twitter format doesn't work, unfortunately.
I'll send you them again, Alex. Or Fez will send you them. He's got all the original ones anyway. Fez, there you go, son. Get him sent to Alex, and he'll sort that out.
I'll send you my email.
It seems to always be sunny in Alex's living room.
It does. It's a very bright, sunny room.
Cushions never move. We don't sit on them.
What's your lighting bill like, Alex? You got your lights on
with
the
sun, mate, so it's quite cheap.
Yeah.
Still a lot of money then.
Roper says, I have a good feeling about tomorrow. Look, I think the players will have a good feel about it tomorrow as well, because why not? They're on an absolute roll at the minute, and they're loving the. I think that Newcastle, from a player's point of view, will probably want to play more than train. The way the games are going at the minute, they are enjoying themselves on a football pitch. Yeah, the first half was tough and a bit hard work and hard watch, to be honest, against West Ham. But what we need to realise is we still came out of that half 2-1 in front. Years gone by, we would have been pummeled 4 or 5 by half time there. But we weren't. We defend very well. Whether the passing was good or not, we still defended very well. Got away with one when, very early doors when Bruno intercepted the pass. Who knows that could have gone to a West Ham player? It didn't. It hit the post and we got away with it. So it was a good night. Lisa's all right, lads. Come on the Toon. Let's have it. Another good win for Newcastle. An excellent weekend for Newcastle. You see, he's jumped on it.
They're all come rolling in now.
Indeed. Pedro says, I think it will be a very hard win due to fatigue. I think Eddie Howe will have to make a lot of changes, also scared of injuries. I don't think he's going to make a lot of changes. These guys are super fit, man. These guys are raring to go, Pedro. They are raring to go.
Yeah. I think rotation-wise, we're in a good place.
Yeah,
I don't think he'll. I don't.
Go on, Jack.
Go on, Paul. I don't think he'll change the back five because he did say in his I don't think I don't know whether it was post match or press conference to the Brentford game that he don't like to switch out his back five because he loves consistency with his back five. We definitely say the only possible change he could make is burn for target, but I don't know.
Could be mind games though, because it's a bit peculiar that he would have
exactly.
brought Target on for 10 minutes to not use him. He
Yeah.
might just be saying that to try and
get him some
confuse
minutes in.
Thomas Frank. Is he going to use Target or burn?
Well, that's the thing where Eddie Howe keeps his cards close to his chest, which I love about him.
Interesting question from Les. Do you think Howe will keep Wilson in or put Isak back in?
We'll have to find out.
It's a massive issue. I mean, Alex, he's got a big decision on that one, hasn't he?
I mean, I think it's quite straightforward. I think you just go back with Isak. I don't think it's that much of a difficult decision. I think Wilson obviously is in a good place right now in terms of his finishing and his confidence, but he's still not where he should be in terms of his overall game, his pressing. So I think the natural starting selection's got to be Isak based on just how we play, especially away from home. You want to be aggressive and chase. And rotation wise, there might be some fatigue. I mean, players like Longstaff and Bruno have had to play a lot of minutes. But everyone else, generally, Joe Linton, Willock, Maxi, Gordon, Isak, Wilson, Murphy, they've all had that chance of substitutions, rotations, not starting. So that's a great luxury we've not had yet this season. That's awesome. So they should be fine.
Let's not forget here, right? Brentford are in the same position as us. They've played the same games, so they played Wednesday night as well. So, they're in a similar position. So,
they'll have had the wind taken out of their sails after quite a good performance against Manchester United, so I've heard.
Yeah. Kungle Fox, thank you very much for your £5 super chat. He says, Goldbridge's point about our owners was pathetic. I think we need loyalty, but not going to complain if we sell Maxi for Mbappe. He loves our owners. Listen, Goldbridge is just an absolute bell end.
Did you hear his thing?
Yeah, but he doesn't put anything on camera, right? He puts it on
this
Twitter.
was on the podcast.
Yeah, I saw the podcast, and I'm not even going to give it attention.
He said in a few more years, players like Isak won't be here.
Yeah,
exactly.
Isak is literally our future.
Yeah, I mean, he doesn't have a clue about Newcastle United at the bottom, and he's a Nottingham Forest fan, so just jumped on the plastic bandwagon like the rest of the Man United sods.
He's even said in a few videos ago, he doesn't pay that much attention to Newcastle, so don't comment on it then. Just don't comment.
Well, yeah, he's just an idiot.
Ridiculous.
DK35, thank you for your $9.99 super chat. He says, no surprise the channel is getting such good views. Other channels give such over-the-top player ratings. Luckily, we have Alex to bring them down to realistic averages. Thank you very much. Sophia, good evening. Hope you're well. Steve says, Michael Oliver did referee us once before they changed the rules and when no one else was available. North Shields Jeff says, good evening to the best Toon channel. Thank you, mate. Brian McLean, good evening. Cockeyed Cyclops has got to watch the West Ham game yesterday. Eddie's entertainers is all I can describe it as. Unreal. I Like Coffee says, Man United are just preparing their excuses in case they drop points. The thing is, I mean, Michael Oliver is for me, is classed as the best referee in the Premier League. There's no doubt about it for me. So you'd think the Man United would be happy getting a decent referee who's not going to make errors. However,
I was going to ask who they're playing, and then I changed my mind. Everton. I don't care.
It's Everton at home, so realistically, I mean, you'd expect them to win that game anyway. But honestly, I hope they don't.
A Deitch masterclass.
Yeah. Lee's going for a 4-0 win against Brentford. Wow.
For us.
Against Brentford for us.
Okay.
When is Tony getting banned for his illegal betting? It's dragged on for months. I don't know. I don't know. Is it a 3 p.m. kickoff? It is indeed, Sophia. Yeah, and you can get it live commentary right here from 2:30 tomorrow afternoon. Build up to the game, team news, and then live play-by-play commentary of the game from 3 o'clock. Yeah, I mean, Man United fans saying we're not rivals, etc., and clearly they are rattled by us. There's no doubt about it. Otherwise, why mention it? Tom says, Man United fans are very worried. They've been salty all week, even after they and we have both played other games this week. A couple of them on another NUFC channel earlier today. They are rattled. Of course they are. Of course they are. Derek says, Brentford 5-1 at home, very similar to West Ham. Not a true reflection of the game. Defending succumbing to our pressure. Brentford tougher, but still 4-0. The Geordie wall will not be breached. Let's hope you're right.
Clean sheet would be nice.
I mean, look, the bottom line, Alex, they're going to aim for clean sheets every single game. They've got something going, that back five, and, they thrive on clean sheets.
Well, yeah. I mean, the way they've been celebrating defensively, certain, clearances and goal line clearances and saves and stuff is that we know there's a togetherness. You've got all of these nice photos online of the back four embracing Pope in a hug and stuff. Like it's a unit. They've played a lot of minutes this season together. They're settled. They've had a little wobble recently. We've seen a couple of Botman wobbles that was unheard of prior to recently. Burns been struggling a little bit. He had a good game against Man United and then a terrible game against West Ham. So Trippier's had his ups and downs, but it's generally been a 7 or 8 out of 10 every week minimum. Everybody's had a wobble. Pope had his funny wobble with his red card. Fabian Schär keeps getting knocked out. Affected him in the final, got a concussion. So that entire back five have all had their own personal struggle in which way or another recently. But, we've got to carry on. And they know they're good players. They know they've got that good unity and the structure and the system. They've got to continue to do, what the gaffer says, what the system is, what the instructions are, and just trust each other. 10 more games left. Let's just keep going. Let's get this done.
And in order to get to the back five, they've got to get through the midfield first, which is not an easy job to do either. No, so get through Big Joe first. Let me see.
Yeah, we've got a very, very strong side now. There's no doubt about that. And the thing is, our bench is looking decent now as well, so we can change things up if we need to. James says, Jack, where did you get your framed shirts from? I'm looking for some.
I got these done a while ago, but I just never couldn't be asked to put them up.
Well, I've got a John Joe Shelby one to give away, which I was going to give away at 17,000 subscribers. We're now over 18,000, and it's still there. I will get a photo of that, and we'll get it up for a competition.
To answer your question, though, I don't know.
Fair enough. Beat says, the best channel by country mile. Keep up the good work. Thanks, Beard. Lewis says, TTR, best show on YouTube, better than anything on TV. How are the lads? Thank you, buddy. Frederick's asking, does he think there'll be any rotation tomorrow? Do you think he will change a few, Jack?
I do. I don't want to spoil it too much because we know we're doing that at the end. But
yeah,
I do. I think there'll be like maybe 2 on tomorrow. I think 2. I don't think it'll be a bit dangerous to change the whole squad. The majority of the squad would be a bit dangerous, but I think there'll be a few, but not loads.
Yeah. Alex, what do you reckon? Because I think I'm in two minds whether he changes the left back. As you say, why bring Matty Targett on? It was very interesting. Certainly with the amount of time left, it wasn't really to give Dan Burn a rest because there wasn't a lot of time left in the game. He was going to do that. You change 15, 20 minutes before the end. It just seemed a little bit of a strange substitution. Maybe Eddie's decided that, Matt Targett may well start tomorrow just to give him a rest.
I mean, to play devil's advocate, I agree with you, but just to play devil's advocate, you could say the same about why did Manquillo come on if he's not going to start? And he's obviously Manquillo's not going to start. Mm-hmm. But I would agree, it's a bit odd to give Targett 10 minutes and not play him against Brentford. I think that's a 50-50 at the moment. The more interesting ones I've seen is there's a lot of publications predicting Maxi to drop to the bench and Willock and Joe Linton to both start on sort of left midfield, left wing, which is an interesting one. I don't know. Again, that's difficult for us as fans to ascertain at all because it's down to fitness levels. The physios will check how they're doing, how the recovery's been today. The squad might not even be decided now. It could be a case of tomorrow. It's based on how all the lads are tomorrow morning, as to what they're going to do on that sort of left side. Because obviously the two wingers have both been rotated. They sort of play 55 to 65 minutes and they'll swap off both wingers and carry on pressing. So, Maxi's not been playing 90, but at the same time, Joe Linton and Willock have been exceptional. We spoke about this the other night. All three of them deserve to start, but you can't shoehorn them into two positions. So, I don't know. I think the Target Burn one is a 50-50, and I think obviously the other ones are the left wing, Isak or Wilson, and then maybe a trump card. Maybe Gordon starts right wing. Maybe Murphy gets a rest, or maybe he just assists.
There's a lot of people predicting maybe it's going to be Gordon on the right.
Possibly, yeah.
Listen,
I don't think he'd make all of those at once, though. No, he's not going to do Target and drop Maxi and bring Gordon. It might be one or two of those changes, but it won't be all of them. So it's. We
never know with Eddie though, do we? Because you're guaranteed that tomorrow, when we look at that team sheet, there will be a curveball that we didn't see coming,
or it will just be an unchanged lineup.
Or he'll have an unchanged lineup. Yeah, exactly. Sophia says, "I would love to know if any of you have nicknames that your friends use." What does IRL mean? Jack, you're down.
In real life.
All right, okay. Do you get a nickname, Jack?
I had one a few years ago. Jackie
Spicer?
Chan. Oh, God.
Spicer.
Jackie Chan?
Oh, I don't know why. It's not a main one. I just get called Jack.
Yeah.
There's not many nicknames for Jack,
mate,
is there?
Alex?
I used to get called Spain Boy a bit because obviously I came back when I came back for high school. I came back from Spain to high school, and I was this little pasty English kid that could speak fluent Spanish, and everybody thought it was really cool but weird. So I was Spain Boy.
I know what Susan's going to do now.
Yeah, she's probably planning something, Jack.
Going to put maracas in my hand.
Well, I just got Ditchy. That was mine.
Ditchy.
My brother had it as well.
That sounds like you're unreliable.
I beg your pardon? How on earth does that sound like you're unreliable?
Jack the Colt.
Ditch.
Let's move on. Beat says it's a chance for us to increase the gap over Tottenham or Brighton as they play each other. Craig says, I'm down in Newcastle when we play Tottenham for my stag do. I live in Scotland. Where is best pub or bar to watch the game? Well, Shearer's, but anywhere that's got the game on. There'll be a hell of an atmosphere in every single pub that's got the game on. Sophia, you've never told us what your nickname is, to be fair. I think that's only right that you should tell us.
Exactly.
Yeah. I don't know what it would be. Ollie, Sophia Olsen, Ollie, Soph, or I don't know. James says Brentford don't have the squad we do. It says something when we can turn around and say we have a stronger squad, a bigger squad than somebody. Dave says I would like to see Burn get a rest, Target get a chance. Agree, Alex. Easy decision. Isak offers more than Wilson. He's the number one striker now. Yeah. Novik says Backbog. Backbog? What the hell? I'm not even going to ask. Dave says Goldbridge hasn't a clue about much. He's a fool like a lot of Man United fans. Bill says, I think Man United are overhyped. I have seen them a lot this season, and they've been very lucky in a number of games. Leicester should have beaten them, for example. Yeah, I remember that Leicester game.
Barely beaten anyone, so...
Yeah, but Leicester did pagger them at Old Trafford, to be fair.
I mean, the Fulham game, that was just pure luck.
Yeah.
Couldn't believe it.
Without a doubt. Goldbridge has poor takes when it comes to football. Good presenter, though. Yeah, but, I've got good takes on football. So am I better than Goldbridge? There's a question.
I like it when he has to say something good about Newcastle, when he's tied up against the wall, and he has to.
Yeah. Rachel says, Sophia, my son calls me Big Chief, and he's Little Chief. Okay, Rich. Interesting. No idea what that's on. Mark Goldbridge is just a mank Alan Partridge. Main thing in common with him and Partridge is the Norwich City scarves. There you go. Guitar News says you deserve 20k subs. Come on, folks. Great channel. Thank you very much. Terraces has, how are the lads? A win with a clean sheet is the minimum outcome tomorrow.
That's a bit harsh.
Yeah, I mean, look, we can't write Brentford off. They're a very, very decent side. And I think, like I said earlier on, a clean sheet is something we'll definitely be aiming for tomorrow. But, for me, it's more important that we come out with a win. So if we win 3-2 or 2-1 or something like that, I'd be perfectly happy taking the points, even though we've conceded a goal. Because at the end of the day, if we win but concede, we've still improved our goal difference. So, which is superb at the moment.
You've got to remember with goals as well, it doesn't always mean it's been a mistake on our part. If somebody scores a 35-yard screamer, is it that some of our lads were in the wrong place or did something wrong? Not necessarily. Sometimes you just score worldies. We're in the Premier League. It's a good caliber of player in this league. So it happens.
I said yesterday that, but obviously don't want to get 0 points. Of course we don't want to lose. But I did say don't write Brentford off. They're a good side. They've got players like Ivan Toney, Jensen. We said they've got good players that can cause damage at times. And then the comment said, look, we should be aiming for 3 points or more. We're in the race for Champions League. I don't want any of this settling back. We've got Tottenham battling us, Man United battling us. We can't be settling for just a point. And I'm like, that's a bit of a harsh comment, that, because Brentford are a good side. I mean, obviously don't want 0 points, but I feel that's a harsh comment. I really do.
Frederick says, name one Brentford player that you would want in our starting 11. Can't think of any. Well, Ivan Toney would be close, but obviously he'd be a rotational striker. I know we've got Isak, but if you were talking about any Brentford player that could come in, I think they've got a very talented midfielder. I can't remember his name off the top of my head.
What are the odds for Ivan Toney coming in?
Norgard, yes, that's him.
I think Ben Mee's better than Jamal Lascelles as well.
Yeah, well, there's not many that are worse than Jamal Lascelles, to be fair, in the Premier League, Alex.
In terms of a squad, Ivan Toney, Norgard as a midfield for depth. Ben Mee's definitely decent for a centre back choice. We're a bit thin on centre backs.
Or me.
They've got Aaron Hickey as right back as well.
Or you.
Or Ben Mee.
Oh, Ben Mee. Well, yeah. Irani Granny says if we qualify for the Champions League, Alex should shave his head to fit in with Paul and Billy.
Steady on.
Alex needs to enjoy his hair while he's still got it.
The agreement was it goes blonde, not that it just disappears. That's
right, Alex.
Yes, it will get views.
If we win a quadruple, then I'll shave it.
Wow. Okay. Clive says it's bloody disgusting that nobody can watch this game live on TV in UK. Draconian rules. Well, money talks at the end of the day.
Well,
Clive.
we've been live pretty much all year.
We have actually. We've had a good run of live games.
It's a lot of money for the club as well.
Yeah, indeed. Tom says, have a look at a video called Luke's Sports Academy. 2 new football fans in America that did a stream in the early hours as one of them is blown away by NUFC and has picked us as their team. Well, that's going to happen a lot over the next few years, I can guarantee you. And some of those will now be supporting Manchester United. But when things change in the very, very near future, they will be Newcastle United fans. So, it's how it rolls. Davey says, did you get my email? Yes, I did, mate. I did. I got it. Thank you very much. Jack makes a good point. When do we see our midfield cut through like we did to West Ham? Look, Bruno for me is a pivotal point, and hopefully he's had a good rest, Alex, and he's ready to go again because Thomas Frank's not stupid. He will know that Bruno is the outstanding player for Newcastle. I mean, yes, we've got a few others there at the minute, but he is the quarterback.
Yeah, I mean, we're not ineffable. We make mistakes. I mean, West Ham cut through our midfield several times. Bowen ran through uncontested like 2 or 3 times through the middle. Declan Rice walked through our entire team about 4 times. We did all right. We stopped them when it counted, but we've obviously got to try and stop that. players like Longstaff struggled a little bit when he was pulled a bit wider. We were leaving a few gaps. I mean, that's probably part of the reason why Eddie Howe went absolutely mental at them, as well as the passing. But in terms of Brentford's midfield, Bruno's going to be a concern for them. They play in a very different way to anything we've played recently. It's a bit different. They've obviously got wing backs. Norgard sits deep and is very, very proficient at tackling. They've got the Danish contingent. They're sort of, they do what they say on the tin. Each of the player profiles is exactly what that player profile is meant to be. They're very traditional in their roles. But the midfield is fairly solid. They are an underrated team. They are lacking in technical quality, but they are reasonably good. They've improved a little bit of quality this year. Again, I think Aaron Hickey's really good. But I would like to think we should be fine with that midfield. They're not going to enjoy the Bruno challenge. I'd like to think whoever starts up front for them, whether it's Wissam, Mbeumo, or Tony, which there'll be 2 out of those 3 will start up front. Obviously, they're going to sort of be either in between the centre-backs or a bit deeper near Bruno.
Well, now you're talking like that, Alex. I think it's time that we got your graphics on the screen. Bill, yes, that would be lovely if you could donate that as a prize. Just drop me an email, which is the email address, is right at the bottom of the description of this video. So if you scroll down there, you'll see the email address. Drop me an email and we'll sort that out, my friend. That would be very, very kind of you. While Alex is doing the stats up on the screen, I think it's only right that the emojis come out and we get a bit of a motivational speech from the channel mascot. So there you go. There is Daisy, of course, giving us a motivational dance for the lads tomorrow.
Giving us good luck.
Absolutely. Well, there you go, Alex. Take it away.
There we go. So this is what FOTMob is predicting their lineup to be. A 3-4-3. A 3-4. If I can get the numbers right. The 3-5-2 even. Is it going to look like this? Possibly not. It completely depends on what phase of play we're in. I would like to think that it's going to be a back 5 for the most of this game. So for those of you who don't know, Aaron Hickey is obviously somebody that we were interested in signing. We went for Harrison Ashby instead. Very good fullback, nice and young. Henry's an underrated fullback. Got to be careful with them. They're crazy in the wide spaces. Obviously, Mbeumo is somebody who we've had to be careful of in the past. Brentford have tried to exploit the space in behind our fullbacks. They've tried to exploit this. So if I go on to us, they've tried to exploit the space between Trippier and Cher, trying to float balls in this little gap here, and they've also been trying to float balls beyond Dan Burn just into space when if he's caught a tiny bit far up, they'll just try and use a bit of space. So we've got to be careful. Players like De Silva and Henry and Mbeumo as well, who I've not got on this graphic because he's not predicted to start. Dangerous. We've got to be respectful of that. And then Tony's obviously got a lot of quality with his finishing. I think De Silva, was he the one who got sent off against us? I think he was, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Was it him? Might have been him.
But
still, good player. Norgard, exceptionally good at tackling in midfield next to Jensen. So Norgard is a very underrated player. I'm surprised he's not been looked at by us. When we were scrambling for an extra midfielder in January. I can't remember who was it. Sander Berg we got linked with. I'm surprised Norgard wasn't in the conversation. I don't think we would have gone for him, but I'm surprised he wasn't because I've got his profile up here. So here he is, Christian Norgard. And if we have a look, he's not. He's very tidy. His defensive output is pretty immaculate. He's a decent player. His statistics last season were even better than this. He was even better. So he's dropped off considerably. Got to be careful of Vise. He's a very, very dangerous player as well. Obviously, Raya has had a few blinders against us. He's a top keeper. They brought Ben Mee in, who's very solid. I don't think it's going to be as easy as it was the last time we played against Brentford at all, because Brentford have got an outstanding record against the Big Six. We are away at their stadium. I think it's the Community Stadium, if I'm I'm not wrong. So we've got to be careful.
Oh, there you go. Mouse again.
So what's going on?
Mouse again.
Paul lost. I did. Yeah, I'm not looking at StreamYard. So,
I'm
so
don't worry.
our boys. So this is obviously left over from last time. I believe FOTMob is predicting us to look like this. That's what FOTMob thinks we're going to do. They think Maxi's going to drop to the bench. Joe Linton's going to start at left wing, and Willock is going to be brought into midfield. And obviously, we know in reality that these two will just interchange because they're amazing. Yeah. That's the predicted lineup from FOTMob. The big questions are: does Target come into play? Does Isak start? And obviously, will he give Murphy a little bit of a rest and play Gordon? So I think those are the big options. And let's have a little look at Brentford on FOTMob. So this is them versus us. So that is what I've just shown you. So is that right? Yeah, Joe Linton, Willock. So that's the predicted lineup. If we scroll down, we've still got Miggy and Kraft out. They're missing Christopher Ayer, who has had a few mares against us, despite being highly rated before he went to Brentford.
Well, of course, he was very highly linked with us. It looked like he was going to sign for Newcastle. If you can recall, we covered him quite a few times, and then he mysteriously decided to go to Brentford. He must have been listening to Agbon Shite House.
He must have been, but it does say a few days, so this can't. You never know. He might appear in the matchday squad. Unlikely. One thing I want to draw your attention to, because it's really interesting, is Brentford's recent game against Brighton. I don't think their game against Manchester United has as much tactical value to look at, but I want to look at this. So it was a 3-3 game, really, really high scoring. Obviously, Brighton play not in the same way we do, but they're a technically decent team with a lot of the ball, a lot of possession, very aggressive. So I feel like it's a good benchmark for us to compare, kind of how we're going to try and make this game pan out. So if we scroll down, we can have a look at the game statistics between Brighton and Brentford. Well, that is ridiculous. Brighton should have won that game 5-1 based on, or 5-2, 4-2. But somehow Brentford were beyond clinical and put 3 in the net. Brighton had 6 chances. I mean, that's what you do when your number 9's Danny Welbeck, but still, it is what it is. 500 accurate passes to 150. So this is kind of what I would be hoping we will try and replicate, regardless of the fact it's away from home. Brentford, obviously well aware that they were a more inferior side in terms of technical ability, and they just, whether it was a combination of them letting Brighton have the ball or Brighton just took the ball for themselves, I'm not sure. But this is how I could see our game going. We've just got to make it count. We've got to make sure that these Willock and Longstaff missed chances, they've got to start at least hitting the target a bit more. We've got to make it count. We really, really have. Because this is a very winnable game. It really is. Everybody's saying,
of course it is.
But we should be beating Brentford based on how they've played against teams kind of like in our sort of standard. I'd say Brighton play a reasonably good brand of football in terms of, well, I say that's a bit harsh on them, but you know what I mean. I think how we should be playing against Brentford should be a performance that collects 3 points 9 times out of 10. I think if we don't take 3 points, something's gone wrong. Tactically, or a few of the lads have made a few errors, or Brentford on that 1 in 10 occasion have had an absolute blinder. But I think 9 times out of 10, we really should be winning this. I think all the matchups are in our favour. There you go. That's the graphics. That's as much as I've got. I just think we've got to be winning this. We've really got to be winning this game.
Davey, thanks for your £2 super chat. He says the selection headache tomorrow is huge all over the pitch. It is. By the way, did anyone see Sophia's nickname there? It was Polly.
Polly.
And apparently it's Polly because Polly Parrot. She doesn't shut up. So there you go. Stephen says, Brighton thumped them. They're good, Brighton. Next level for them is a good striker. Geordie Howeman says, I see Talk Shite and Simon Boring are still trying to make the takeover big news. Look, I mean, I'll put it. There was loads of people trying to sort of downplay not downplay it, but make it headline again. Sorry, on social media. And look, it's just pathetic. I replied to one of them and said, just jog on, just move on. It's a year and a half since the takeover. It's a long way in the past. Just get on with it. You know what I mean? Nothing's going to change. So stick that up your asses. Those Brighton comparison stats, Alex, paint a canny picture.
It's crazy, isn't it?
Yeah. When we qualify for the Champions League, we need a world-class left back. We will. You can guarantee that if we qualify for the Champions League, these world-class players will start to arrive. And it's not about being able to attract them to Newcastle, Jack. It's about what we can offer them as footballers.
I mean, most of these signings in their interviews always bring up the project because it's an exciting project for players that attract them. Yes, money talks, and it very well does, but it's also the project. And of course, with like the likes of Teo Hernandez, Grimaldo, they all stop coming in. But it's also the project that they're looking for as well, and the where we can go in the future. Because we're of course we're a sleeping giant, but that giant's woken up now, and the only way there's no ceiling for us, and the only way is forward. So I feel like it's mainly the project and a bit of the money, but most of the project, which is the most exciting part about signing for Newcastle.
Yep. Jordy Lad says, I'm quite happy with our current form, seeing as we lost a cup final about 2 months ago, and we didn't win in 6 games, I think. It's been a look, we said it was a blip, didn't we, Alex? We said it was a blip, and you also said, as many as others did, this warm weather trip to Dubai was going to be massive for us because we saw what it did last season, and it's clearly brought the lads together again. It's refreshed them. And they're ready to go again for the remainder of the season.
Yeah, I mean, it's no secret that the way we play is very demanding physically. I mean, Exhibit A is the fact that we're now rotating our centre forward. Our right winger is completely different. Let's not forget, it's not Miggy anymore. Miggy was knackered. He had to be told to have a game off because he was destroyed. So we've got rotating centre forwards, a new right wing in Murphy, Maxi, who's just got back up to full fitness. So what was our 11 a few months ago when we were running out of steam? It was Joe Linton, Callum Wilson, and Miggy who were running out of steam, and now we've had to change that. It's not their fault. It's just a byproduct of how we're playing. You can't play like. We've tried it. Who have we sat off against this season? Even people will say Arsenal, but we tried to match them for half an hour.
We did.
Fair enough. We went, okay, we can't do this, but we tried for a little bit. You just can't play that way all the time. We don't have a big enough squad to play that way. Billy pointed this out 2 months ago. That Howard played like 15 players. And we've got like the second highest turnovers in the final third in the league. You cannot play that aggressively with like 15 players. It's impossible. No matter how much you pay them, they're not robots.
Ash says, I wouldn't mind Evan Ferguson at Newcastle as an understudy to Isak.
He's not going to be an understudy to anybody. He's going to be the best.
Yeah. The Tech Guru says, well done, Jack, looking much more settled and comfortable. Keep up the good work. Great asset for the future of the Toon review.
Thank you, Guru.
Stephen says, Gordon and Isak for pace will destroy Brentford. Mitoma tortured them. Just no striker at Brighton. Yeah.
Can I just throw something in there? My friend said today, imagine if Ivan Toney was at Brighton. And I've never thought about that before. Imagine if it wasn't Welbeck, if it was Toney, Brighton would be where we are, I think.
But Brighton have never had that standout striker for years, have they? I mean, they had Maupay before him, and he wasn't really
he's awful.
Yeah, they've never really had that out-and-out clinical striker. But maybe, I don't know, maybe they'll search for one.
If they've got Toney up front with 17 goals, they would be in front of Manchester United, possibly even in front of us.
Yeah, bit scary. I think we look quite scary now. So much intensity, plus strength in depth and quality. Same again from Maxi tomorrow, says Daniil. Well, if he's on the pitch, then hopefully we'll come to those predictions very, very shortly. Gordon's looked super good in his limited minutes so far. Him, Isak, and ASM would be super fast front three. Sophia says they were stirring up shit on TalkSport today, implying that the government forced the Premier League to accept the takeover. Look, we know what happened with the takeover, and TalkSport we know what TalkSport are like as well. They've got to try and make some headline news and stuff like that.
We know it's not that because it was soon as the beIN Sport stuff got resolved.
It was literally as soon as it happened.
Yeah, it's a piracy issue. It was nothing to do with the government.
Yeah, as soon as it happened, bang, it was done. So we clearly knew what the takeover was all about and what was delaying it, because as soon as, like Alex has just said, as soon as the piracy was done, all of a sudden, you got the headlines that had sorted themselves out. The piracy issues had sorted out, and then within minutes of that happening, all the rumors started that the takeover was happening. So it was always down to that. Whatever people say, you can't. It's not a coincidence that those two came hand in hand. Glenn Murray was okay, says Simon. Yeah, but he wasn't prolific.
He was good in the Championship, but Premier League, no.
That's like saying Dwight Gale was prolific. Well, yeah, he was in the Championship.
Yeah. Rani Granny says Brighton are a feeder club. If anyone comes too good, they are poached. Baz Down Under says if Maxi has finally reached full fitness, he has to be played. Yeah, I would keep playing him. I really would. I would keep playing him, but of course, that decision lies with Eddie. Jack,
you don't want to knock off the consistency because he's got his run going, he's got his run of form going, and you don't want to break it. So I'd keep playing him.
Alex,
I agree, but it depends on a fitness test. It depends on how his hamstrings, his calves are, what his sprints are looking like, how he's feeling. And that is how they will assess all players. It completely depends. If they think that Maxi's woken up tomorrow morning and is a 7 out of 10, then just play Joe Linton. Even though I love Maxi, you've got to play the best 11 on the day, depending on how all the lads are feeling. Willock, he might not start Willock again. They maybe this isn't what he had in his hamstring. They might be precautionary again and sit him out on the bench for another game. Who knows? We're not privy to this inside information, so we can only speculate based on what the journalists have managed to fish out through interviews with Eddie. So,
I've just seen a comment which is I'm quite confused, but from Radar. Or Radar, if you like. Love your watch-alongs. Best play-by-play, no doubt, but your analysis is too weird for me to believe it.
I think it's because we're too in-depth.
Well, I'm very sorry, but that's why we have the viewers that we do, because we are very in-depth and we are very, I don't know.
Stato's too good for him.
Stato's, well,
he's not that in-depth. I just showed possession, passes. That comes up on the standard football.
That's what I'm saying.
He's just saying. But look, Radar.
It's just you, mate.
Is that how the Royals say it? There's the planes flying into the airport using the radar system.
He needs to call into Sky Sports and tell them off whenever they put XG on the screen, then, which they do every match.
Oh, it's not what it meant. It's just commented now.
Well, that is not what I meant. Well, please explain what you meant, because Ab says Radar. You are not saying anything. Vagueness says nothing. Indeed. We'll see what Radar comes
like
back
analysis.
with.
He just wants vagueness. We might win. We might not. There's my analysis. There we go.
It's only what I'm assuming. So.
Well, unfortunately, I do apologise for being a little too, passionate about Newcastle United, Radar. But we are very passionate fans about Newcastle United on this channel, Radar.
You've gone American.
That's why I took a drink of water, because my throat dried out halfway through the sentence, and I started going all American. But there you go. Radar needs to explain himself rather better than he did. You know what I'm saying. But there you go. Look, people like this Radar because they get an in-depth view of the games, rather than not. Right.
Radar.
Radar, well, I like the watch along. I mean, that doesn't
No,
really.
we know that, but it's
Well,
the end
yes,
comment,
yeah,
man.
indeed, you've said that, Radar. And I'm sick of saying Radar. So Davey says analysis is spot on, hence why I watch this one and swerve the others. Leica says, love the chat, could listen to you guys all night. Well, thank you very much. Ian Skinner says, so glad to be looking forward to games now, not dreading them. Indeed. Jordy Howe man mentioning the Sunderland game and 96-minute penalty and apparently Carl Darlow got quite a lot of abuse in the goal for Hull City tonight. Watched the Mackems earlier. Got to admit Jack Clark is a good player. How would it go down if we signed him? Well, we are interested in Jack Clark. That was, what was that, last summer now that we made a first initial interest in him.
Is that the really young kid that we were? There was 3 million got thrown around as a figure, I think.
Yeah. Tom says it's Paul's comments like tickle my tonsils with a lion bar that Radar doesn't understand.
You seen Radar's comment?
No, I'm coming to it. Don't worry. I'm not going to miss anybody's comments out. English might not be his first language. Well, fair enough, but just explain it.
Why is our analysis too weird?
Ab says, yeah, Radar, you said, but what does weird mean exactly? James says, you can't please everyone, Paul, and we all have different opinions from time to time, but for me, your channel is second to none, buddy. Listen, I don't mind Radar's opinion. I just want to know what that opinion is. Of course, not everybody's going to be, this channel isn't going to be everybody's cup of tea. Other channels aren't everybody's cup of tea. I just want to know what the hell he means. Stu says the training ground is already looking so much better, not a wheelie bin in sight. Yeah, I mean, the pictures were phenomenal. They really were. Keith Lee, thank you for your $5 Singapore dollars. Oh, my dear God. He says, I'll show my smexiness on OnlyFans if we get a Champions League spot.
No, Keith.
Keith?
I'm not subscribing at all.
Radar now says I will leave then. Seems a bit weird. Just tell us what you mean by Radar. What do you mean by weird, Radar? That's what we're asking you.
I'm seeing his comments. He's gone lol, and then he's gone, don't try and please me.
Well, maybe I think that's the cue to block him, just to get rid of it.
I think Radar's been a bit of a
don't give him the choice. Block him.
I don't think he meant like that. I think it's when you said you can't please everyone.
Well, if he explained what he meant by a bit weird, it wouldn't be the same in watch-alongs without Paul saying, shave my balls with a rusty razor. Did Loaded really give Dan Burn an 8.5?
Oh, I'm going to have to message Pete about that.
Yeah, seriously, they're going to get some messages later. Definitely not. Wow. Abs has been abs.
Ta-ta, Radar.
Ta-ta, Radar. Dara's back now saying, give my pal a break, lads. He's trying his best.
Quick.
Oh, dear me. Brilliant. She says, it's because of this channel's in-depth analysis that I keep myself awake at 3 to 4 a.m. Singapore time every time TTR come on live. Radar. Tangy says Paul's ass will be twitching like a rabbit's nose tomorrow in the watch along. That's a certainty. It always is.
It depends if we're 3-0 up after 10 minutes, then it'll be fine.
Yeah.
I'm always nervous before kickoff, but when kickoff starts, I'm fine. But when we go, even when 1-0 up, I'm still on the edge of my seat. And then if we go 2-0 up, and then I'll be a bit more calm. But I just don't like the build up.
Yeah, I think it's time to get rid of Radar now. We've had our fun with this, with the idiot. So throw him.
Oh, comment.
Evening, Ginger.
I will say again, love you watch along. Don't agree with your analysis.
That's definitely not Ginger because he can spell.
Good point.
No, that's Radar.
But it's a long story, Jack. Johnny boy, hate to leave, but signing off now to keep me mum company. TTR's a joy to watch. How are the lads 3-1? Take care, Johnny boy, and we'll see you soon, buddy. Nick X says, ask Stato what he thinks about a cheeky bid for Federico Chiesa. Juve opening selling, Man United circling apparently. What do you think about Chiesa from Juve, Alex?
I mean, I'm pretty sure we did him on a transfer show like ages ago. Didn't he have a massive ACL injury?
No idea.
I only saw him in the Euros.
Yes is my answer. Absolutely. I remember him at Fiorentina and then he went to Juventus. Yes. Absolutely yes. Yes. With extra yeses. All of the yeses. So I'm looking at his stats as I'm saying that. I'm not just like staring at nothing. Yeah. I mean, hang on a minute. I'm slightly off topic, but
okay.
It was class in the Euros.
I've got the wrong screen on for it. Hang on a minute. We can come back to it. Okay, you can carry on, Paul. I'll bring it up in a minute.
Devon says, when is Jack going to appear on the merch? Well, obviously, we now need to, change things around again. So we need some kind of cartoon version of Jack on the actual TTR.
You got the spicy one.
YouTube banner, Facebook banner, Twitter banner. I'm sure Susan's already working on it. She's she knows what she's doing. Sometimes I don't even ask her. She just shows me, and she just gets. If she gets an idea on her head straight away. James wants a TTR flag for merch. Susan, there you go.
Match.
Interesting. Stats for Chiesa. There you go. The man works quick.
So, I mean, the question: why did I say yes like 5 times? So he's a 25-year-old attacker in his prime. With stats like that, tackles in the 99th percentile, blocks, carries, take-ons, he's a freak. Again, he's a freak. If you look at his comparisons, you've got Griezmann, you've got Mane in there, Messi. If Messi's on your comparison list, yes, absolutely yes. Look how many seasons this kid's played at the top level. He's 25, about to peak. He did his hard graft with Fiorentina in the sort of middle of the pack in Serie A. Got his move to Juventus. 16 goal contributions in his first season. He's had fewer recently because Juventus is just a mess of a club at the moment. But absolutely, yes. We can keep him fit.
Indeed. Rani Granny, thank you for your £5 super chat. What do you think of Julian Brandt from Dortmund? Seen some links today. He's a left back, isn't he? He's a very good player.
No. Unless they've moved him. No, he was a midfielder.
All right,
I thought it was a midfielder. I always got mixed up.
All right. I got it wrong. It very rarely happens.
He's the most highly rated player to come out of Germany since Havertz left. Obviously, Havertz hasn't quite reached the heights he was meant to. But Julian Brandt is a freak as well. Hell yes, if we could get him, brilliant.
Alistair says, Paul, they do not understand our watch-alongs are a pint and pasty, not tea and scones. Exactly. Right. Let's get into the team lineups then. Before we end the team lineups and prediction, Jack, what's your team for tomorrow?
Hope in goal. I'm going to go Botman and Shea centre back and Kieran Trippier right back. Now left back. I'm not sure on this one. Yeah, Paul Dummett. Why not? Chuck him in there. No, obviously I'm joking. I don't know. Dan Burn. I saw from Eddie Howe that he doesn't like to switch up his back five. I'm going to take his word for it. I'm going to go Dan Burn. If he can play a full 90 minutes, then he's a freak. Midfield, Joelinton, Bruno, and Longstaff. I think he's going to keep the same midfield three. He may not. He may do. I'm not too sure. I think he's going to chuck Isak in. Isak start up from Maxi on the left end. I feel like he will play Murphy, so I'm going to go Murphy. Yeah, that's mine.
Fair enough. Sammy, thank you very much for 1999 Saudi Arabian Riyal. Hope you're well out there in Saudi. He says, this is the only team that I'm afraid of in the whole Premier League. That style of play can hurt us a lot, but I hope we win. Tooney Paul, thank you very much for your £2 super chat. Yes, I did, mate. Thank you very much. Ian says, can Susan produce a TTR salt shaker for those tasty matches? Yeah, dear me. Oh God, yeah. We'll send all the Man United fans, etc., some salt shakers. Right, Alex, what's your team?
Pope in goal, Trippier, Share, Botman, Matt Target, left back. I'm going to stick with logic. He doesn't bring him on as a sub if he's not going to use him. I think I respect what Jack said, but I think possibly it's mind games, or just to keep people guessing.
It's hard.
And then Bruno, Joe Linton, and Longstaff, and then it's going to be Maxi, Isak, and Anthony Gordon. I think Wilson and Murphy will drop out. Not that they deserve to. I think Murphy had probably one of his better games this season, probably his best game this season, and got an assist. But he started both games, so I think the third in a row. I think the only players he's going to trust to do that are defenders and/or Bruno Longstaff, because Longstaff could just never runs out of battery. But yeah,
interesting. Well, interesting actually, because I'm going with exactly the same team as you, Alex. I think that's a team I would like to see, and hopefully, he will pick that team. But listen, whatever team he puts out, he'll put out because he's done his work looking at Brentford, and he'll decide which of the 11 are going to start. That can certainly compete in the game, and then if changes are needed in the second half, we do have excellent options. Right,
it's
score
also,
prediction.
Can I just mention that is a frightening front three?
It is. There's a lot of pace in that front three. It's
also going to be hard against Rico Henry as well, because he's a very, very fast fullback, and he's very, very hard. He's very underrated, like Alex said. So I'm excited for if Murphy or Gordon starts. Gordon will have a better chance.
That's why we predicted.
I think that's why Gordon will start. Yeah.
Maybe because he's a lot faster.
Absolutely. Right, Jack. Score prediction.
Oh, I don't feel like it's going to be hammering like West Ham. I do think we will pick up 3 points, but I just don't know whether to go 1-0 or 2-0. I feel like we will keep a clean sheet. Well, I went 1-0 yesterday, so I'll go 1-0. Why not?
1-0. Okay. And the goal scorer?
Isak.
Okay. Alex?
I'm going to go 3-1. I think, I apologise, I can't remember who the commenter was, but he was talking about a minimum is for us to get a clean sheet and a win. I think that's harsh. You can never just expect a clean sheet and a win, regardless of how good you are, whether it's Liverpool and City in their peak. Like, it's the Premier League. Anything can happen. But I think 3-1. I think Brentford have got enough to score maybe once. And then I just think we need to make sure that we turn up and score more than them. I know that's a Michael Owen comment right there, but I think we can. It's quite comfortable for us to make them either we're only going to concede 0 or 1. Well, nothing or 1. I think that's pretty much. I think we're all right there. It's just I hope it's not going to be one of those funny games like we've had against Palace a couple of times this year, where it's just really finicky to break them down. But I think we'll be all right. We've been showing a lot more flair and sort of connectivity and understanding in the final third recently. So 3-1. I want to see a few more goals. 3-1.
I'm going 2-0. I think a clean sheet will be something that the back five really, really want, and they will go for it again, defend for their lives, as we've seen so many times. Goal scoring wise, Sven Botman with both.
I didn't get goal scorers. Botman double.
Yeah, I'm absolutely talking crap, Alex. I'm not going for Botman double at all.
Shall I just go for a Botman hat trick? Why not?
Well, why the hell not? I mean, look, I think
Gordon might get his first goal.
Will you let me finish?
I didn't give my goal scorers, to be fair.
Oh, you don't? Oh, fair enough. Go on then.
I mean, it's my fault, but
go on. Who's your goal scorers?
I'll just go with what you said. I want some centre backs to score. I'll go Botman, Share, Gordon. They need to start hitting the net.
God, fair enough.
Fabian Schär had 4 shots last week. Score a bloody goal, man. It's been long enough.
Yeah. Do you know what I'm going for? I'm going for Isak and Gordon, I think, tomorrow. I think if letting me sort of sensible head come on. So there you go. That is the score predictions. It's a huge game. Because if we get out of this week with maximum points, like I said at the beginning of the show, it is going to be unreal. It really is. That puts us in fantastic stead to go to Villa Park next week and turn them over as well, because that will give me nothing but pleasure. They're playing really well at the minute. Emery's got them playing well. So that's next week, though. Focus on this game and win this game, basically. But that is it, guys. Thank you very much for watching. Don't forget, I'll be back at 2:30 tomorrow with the live watch-along, build up to the game, followed by the full 90 minutes of play-by-play commentary on the game. Obviously, it's not on TV, so if you want to join me and listen to live commentary of it, you'll get that right here. It's not the game on live like some people think it is. It's just commentary of the game. So join me for that at 2:30 with a 3 o'clock kickoff. We'll be back on Sunday, obviously, with the match review and player ratings, etc. So we like you joining in with that because it always tends to stir up a cauldron of opinions. It's fair to say. But thank you very much to everybody for watching tonight. Please stick a like on it. It does help us massively. And of course, if you're new to the channel, hit the subscribe button and also the notification bell, which will let you know when we go live or we upload a video. And of course, you can become a member of the channel as well by hitting the join button just underneath. You can also follow us on our socials on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and TikTok. We're on there as well. So go and give us a follow on those platforms. Thank you to the new members and super chatters tonight, as usual. Thank you so much for supporting the channel. It really, really does help us. And of course, to the mods for another fantastic night's work. But mainly to you guys out there for once again, over 800 watching tonight. Legends, absolute legends. Thank you so much. And we will see you again tomorrow from 2:30. Enjoy the rest of your Friday evening. Have a brilliant Easter weekend. And goodbye from me, Jack, and Alex. Take care.
Have an excellent weekend.